very warm welcome to the brand new edition of Parliament This Week from the Parliament House Complex, your weekly roundup of all important developments in Parliament. I'm Kriti Mishra and now let's begin the show. Parliament will discuss the issue of Delhi violence next week. Meanwhile, Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu has urged all sides to maintain peace and restore normalcy in the national capital. Take a look.
Question number 180.
Parliament will discuss the issue of Delhi violence when it meets again next week after the Holi break.
On the table of the House. After restoring the normalcy, 11 तारीख को लोकसभा में दिल्ली के जो अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट हुआ है, राइट हुआ है, उसके लिए चर्चा के लिए हम तैयार हैं। अभी होली भी आ रहे हैं, ये सब मद्देनजर रखते हुए हमने पूरा चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार है 11th को लोकसभा में। और तब तक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ऑब्लिगेशन है, हमको बिल भी पारित करना है और सेंस ऑफ द हाउस है कि राज्यसभा चलना चाहिए। ये तो हाउस सेंस ऑफ द हाउस है। ये हमने 11th को चर्चा पूरा करने के लिए भारत सरकार तैयार है। ये तो हमने अपोजिशन लीडर को भी कहा है, लेकिन इन लोग सदन चलाना नहीं चाहते हैं। अगर वो सदन चर्चा चाहते हैं तो सदन चलाने दो, इतना ही मैंने इनको कहता हूँ। 11 तारीख को लोकसभा में और 12 तारीख को राज्यसभा में हम चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार है, लेकिन ये चर्चा नहीं चाहते हैं, एक डिसरप्शन चाहते हैं, लोगों का समस्या का चर्चा वो नहीं चाहते हैं। मैं फिर से अपील कर रहा हूँ कि आप कृपया सदन चलाने दो, हम चर्चा के लिए तैयार है।
Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that all sides must endeavour to restore normalcy in Delhi and then discuss ways and means of preventing further violence.
हम लोग एक स्वर से बोले इस हाउस से सामान्य स्थिति लाने के लिए एक स्वर से बोले, ये कोई पद्धति नहीं, ये तो कोई शोभा नहीं देते। सामान्य स्थिति लाना बहुत जरूरी है, हमारा कर्तव्य बनता है, हम सब लोग मिलकर उसके लिए। इसलिए मैं चाहता हूं नेता विपक्ष से भी और नेता सदन से भी और संबंधित मंत्री से भी बातचीत करने के बाद ही मैं समय तय करूंगा कब चर्चा करना। ये तो मेरा निर्णय है। लेट द टोटल पीस बी रिस्टोर्ड, लेट अस स्टेट टू सी दैट द सिस्टम is work effectively and then normalcy to be brought in Delhi particularly in view of what has happened.
The issue disrupted proceedings in both houses of Parliament as opposition parties protested. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan informed Parliament that there was no need to panic over the coronavirus situation in the country. He also said that ministers, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, are monitoring the situation on a daily basis.
Allaying concerns on the rising cases of coronavirus, Union Health Minister Harshvardhan apprised the Rajya Sabha of the government's action plan. The plan has been in force since 17th January, before the WHO issued advice to India. The government has also made the screening of diplomats entering India compulsory.
In our country, as on 4th March, a total of 29 positive cases have been reported so far. Of these, 3 cases were reported in Kerala earlier, who have since recovered and have been discharged already. Since last 3 days, new travel-related cases have tested positive. These include one in Delhi having travel history of Italy and Telangana having travel history from Dubai and contact history from person from Singapore. Both are clinically stable. 6 more cases have tested positive in Agra, Uttar Pradesh, having contact history with the case in Delhi. Required action as per cluster management plan has been initiated. Further, an Italian tourist and his wife have tested positive in Rajasthan. 14 other accompanying tourists in this group and their Indian bus driver tested positive on their return to Delhi. All of them are reported to be stable. A recent positive case has also been reported in Delhi yesterday, having travel history from Italy and is stable.
The Health Ministry also listed out concrete steps taken by the government to stop the virus from creating chaos. He said the government had set up 39 more laboratories to test suspected individuals.
Honorable Prime Minister is personally monitoring the preparedness and response on a regular basis. Government of India has initiated a series of action to prevent entry of the disease and to contain it. I am daily reviewing the situation. A group of ministers consisting of Minister of External Affairs, Minister of Civil Aviation and Minister of State for Home Affairs, Minister of State for Shipping and Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, chaired by me, have been constituted to monitor the situation. The group of ministers has met 4 times since its inception on 3rd February 2020. Cabinet Secretary is taking regular reviews with all related ministries of Health, Defence, Ministry of External Affairs, Civil Aviation, Home, Textiles, Pharma, Commerce and other officials, including with State Chief Secretaries. My own ministry is constantly reviewing the evolving scenario.
Harshvardhan reiterated the steps taken by the government to check the spread of the coronavirus. They include the evacuation of Indian nationals from Wuhan and other affected cities of China, as well as setting up screening facilities at all entry zones like ports and airports to India. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Members across political spectrum in the Rajya Sabha suggested several measures to the government to control the spread of coronavirus in the country. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu urged the government to take note of all the suggestions.
Leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Azad, has urged the government to create awareness among people to combat the deadly COVID-19 virus.
लेकिन मेरे ख्याल में ये कंट्रोल रूम हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट सीएमओ के ऑफिस भी होना चाहिए, चीफ मेडिकल ऑफिस के होना चाहिए और चीफ मेडिकल ऑफिस 6.5 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स का हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री से कांटेक्ट उनका होना चाहिए 24/7। दूसरा जो प्रिपेयर्डनेस है हमारी, वो पब्लिक प्लेसेस, खास तौर से हमारे देश में सबसे बड़ी पब्लिक प्लेस है रेलवे स्टेशन, बस स्टेशन। एयरपोर्ट्स ने तो आपने सुविधा की और 2 जगह इस तरह की सुविधा प्राप्त हैं जहां अंदर अनाउंसमेंट हो सकती है और बाहर भी अनाउंसमेंट हो सकती है।
Members cutting across party lines joined ranks with the government in giving suggestions to fight the disease.
We assure the center of all cooperation to protect the mothers, the children of our country, the mothers of our country, the brothers of our country, and the sisters of our country, and not to get into a situation of panic, for example, to keep the basic and even think about using the public distribution system to try and get stuff out. For the mothers, the children, the brothers of the country.
जितने बड़े पैमाने पर सावधानी तो बरतनी चाहिए, लेकिन पैनिक जैसी स्थिति पैदा नहीं होनी चाहिए जनता के बीच में। देहातों में कहीं ये इस तरह का नहीं है, सिर्फ शहरी मामलों में कुछ शहरों के अंतर्गत ये है। इसलिए विदेशों से आने जाने वालों पर नज़र रखिए और ये कहीं देहात में जाने वाला नहीं है। हमारी तमाम आयुर्वेद की ऐसी दवाइयाँ वगैरह हैं जो सब कोरोना को भगा देंगी। ज़्यादा लोगों के मन में भय पैदा करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं।
Whether it is negative or positive, it is very time taking to get the result because the clinical sample is to be sent to Pune for testing. So the state government has requested, Odisha state government has requested central government to set up such testing centers in different states, including Odisha. So may I suggest the Honourable Minister to, as far as possible and as early as possible, to open such testing centers in different parts of the country.
First, to educate the children in schools and colleges how to prevent this, what is the measure they have to adopt. Second, in social media, there are lot of advertisement about Ayurvedic and homeopathy medicines. Whether it is suitable, that also Government of India can recommend through the states.
Suggest the airlines to supply masks to all the passengers because some international flights are being operated as domestic.
Right.
So many passengers are not going and some passengers who are coming maybe. So masks could be given by the airlines and airports can be maybe sanitized. And the social media, something is being spread which creates some panic in the minds of the people. So let the Honorable Health Minister or responsible person for the government shall appear on the TVs.
Lead the government to immediately rescue the 721 fishermen, out of whom 400 are from Kanyakumari and my district Tirunelveli. Kindly bring them safe because they are in the grip of catching this convict, and also from Iran coast.
माननीय स्वास्थ्य मंत्री जी ने काफ़ी सुझाव दिए हैं, अच्छा कदम उठाया है। मेरा सुझाव है कि सभी प्रदेश सरकारों को सूचित किया जाए कि जितने भी जिला अस्पताल हैं वहाँ पर भी इसकी अच्छी व्यवस्था होनी चाहिए, जिससे कि ग्रामीण अंचल में ये रोग ना पहुँचे।
My suggestion would be that kind of news which are being spread, fake news especially through social media or even media, that needs to be checked by the government. Some implementation on this count needs to be done, which spreads unnecessarily fear among the people.
So far, over 30 people in India have tested positive for COVID-19. The first 3 Indian cases were reported in Kerala. They were discharged after being treated and testing negative for the virus. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The lower house passed the Direct Taxes Vivad Se Vishwas Bill. It also passed the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code's Second Amendment Bill and also the Mines and Mineral Laws Amendment Bill. Take a look.
The Lok Sabha passed the Vivad Se Vishwas Bill through a voice vote. The bill seeks to settle pending direct tax disputes in the country. It seeks to provide taxpayers a lucrative opportunity to settle direct tax disputes within the current financial year by waiving interest and penalty on their pending taxes.
जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य इसके विरोध में वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, संशोधन स्वीकृत हुआ।
Under the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, taxpayers willing to settle disputes shall be allowed a complete waiver of interest and penalty if they pay the entire amount of tax in dispute by March 31st, 2020. Beyond this date, a 10% additional disputed tax shall have to be paid over and above the tax liability. Further, where arrears relate to disputed interest or penalty only, then 25% of the disputed penalty or interest shall have to be paid if the payment is made by March 31st, 2020, beyond which the same shall be enhanced to 30%. The Vivad Se Vishwas scheme would remain open till June 30th, 2020. The Lok Sabha also passed the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code's Second Amendment Bill. The bill seeks to amend the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code so that successful bidders of insolvent companies are ring-fenced from any risk of criminal proceedings for offences committed by previous promoters of the companies concerned.
जो सदस्य के पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य के विरोध में वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ।
The Lok Sabha also passed the Mines and Mineral Laws Amendment Bill. The bill proposes to remove end-use restrictions for participating in coal mine auctions for all global and domestic companies and paves the way for auctioning of iron ore mining leases. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
At the commencement of the second half of the budget session of Parliament, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu gave a brief account of the functioning of the committees during the recess for enhancing transparency and accountability. He urged all political parties to ensure qualitative and quantitative functioning of these committees through improved attendance. Take a look.
As the second half of the budget session of Parliament commenced on Monday, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu gave a brief account of the functioning of committees of Rajya Sabha during recess. Of the 24 department-related standing committees, 8 are with Rajya Sabha and 16 with Lok Sabha. In respect to the demands for grants for 2020-21, the 8 committees of Rajya Sabha have held 20 meetings and discussed the demands of 18 ministries over a total duration of 63 hours.
In respect of demands for grants 2020-21, the 8 committees of Rajya Sabha have held 20 meetings and discussed the demands of 18 ministries over a total duration of 63 hours. Taking into consideration that the Parliament meets for about 6 hours during each sitting, the total time spent by these 8 committees examining the demands of various ministries in effect amounts to over 10 sittings of Parliament. Proportionately, the work done by the 16 committees of Lok Sabha amounts to another 20 sittings of the Parliament. In all, the work put in by the total 24 DRSCs in examining the demands for grants of all the ministries equal to 30 days of functioning of the Parliament, which is quite significant. That alone takes the total of sittings of Parliament during a year to over 100 days.
The attendance of members of Rajya Sabha at 52.57% continues to be higher than that of Lok Sabha at 46.37%. The chairman said that 4 of these 8 committees have reported attendance of more than 50%. The highest attendance of 65.51% has been in the meetings of the Committee on Health and Family Welfare.
I'm happy to inform that the attendance of the members, of Rajya Sabha at 52.57% continue to be higher than that of the Lok Sabha at 46.37%. While the overall attendance of members of the BJP and the Congress account for a total of 142 members has been much higher than 50%. The attendance of the members from other parties amounting for 102 members has been only around 40%. On the whole, the members seems to have taken more interest in issues concerning health, human resource development, home affairs, and tourism and transport, while somewhat lesser interest in commerce, industry, and science and technology. A total of 87 members, accounting to 36% of the total 244 members, have reported full attendance in the meetings on demands for grants.
As a token of appreciation, the chairman also offered to the 6 members for continuing with full attendance during the committee meetings.
I would like to refer to those 6 members as a token of appreciation for continuing with full attendance. These are Sri Rakesh Sinha, Dr. L. Hanumantaya, Sri Ravi Prakash Verma, Sri Akhilesh Prasad Singh, Sri P. Wilson, and Sri Sasmit Patra.
The chairman reiterated his appeal to leaders of all parties to ensure better attendance in the meetings of parliamentary committees. Since the introduction of department-related parliamentary standing committees in 1993, substantial work of the parliament is being transacted by these committees, in which almost all the parties and groups are represented. These committees function in a non-partisan manner and mostly submit unanimous reports on various important issues for further consideration of the parliament and the government, as the case may be. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on the Ministry of Home Affairs, led by Congress leader Anand Sharma, presented the report in the Rajya Sabha on the demands for grants for the Ministry of Home Affairs. The panel has given several recommendations. Here are the details.
Sir, I rise to present the following 3 reports.
Member Anand Sharma presented the 224th report on demands for grants 2020-21 of the Ministry of Home Affairs in Rajya Sabha.
224th report on the demand for grants for the financial year 2020-21 of the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Regarding the upcoming census and national population register, the committee recommended the MHA to explore the feasibility of using the Aadhaar metadata for the census and also updation of NPR in 2020-21. It further said that all states and union territories should be fully convinced on various issues pertaining to the NPR that commences from the 1st of April 2020 to have a national consensus. The committee observed that just like army personnel, the Central Armed Police Forces personnel are also posted in the treacherous, mountainous and snowy terrain, and therefore the CAPF's personnel need to be given the risk and hardship allowance as admissible to the army personnel. The committee said that parity on the payment of such allowances should be maintained between troops that are deployed in similar areas. This would go a long way in boosting the morale of the deployed CAPF personnel in tough conditions. The committee also expressed its concern on the increasing popularity of cryptocurrencies and darknet markets. It said drug traffickers are using encryption software to protect their communications, data and money that makes it difficult to track and seize drugs. The committee recommended that a critical analysis of intelligence inputs on drug trafficking routes should also be done. On the newly created Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the committee emphasized the need for proper physical and social infrastructure. It laid stress on land, capital, storage, roads, railways, air connectivity, communication, power, skilled workforce to attract new industries and entrepreneurs into Jammu and Kashmir. The committee also recommended setting up a planning board and investment promotion agency in Jammu and Kashmir in a stipulated time to formulate investment plans and coordinate with the industries from various sectors and countries to increase investment in Jammu and Kashmir. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
That's all we had for you in this edition of Parliament this week. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Rajya Sabha Television.